Today, I want to talk about language and why the language we use matters so much. This video is not just for professionals in a helping role, but actually for all people, because we all use language and we all interact with other people and we all come across people that might need our support and understanding. The language we use is important because it carries a message, a meaning. If you think about it, language is actually so complicated. It differs in various parts of the world. It's very much a part of one's culture. It's the words you grow up using and knowing, and we don't really question the words that we hear and use, and everybody uses it. This video is really about creating an awareness about that, to really become intentional with the words that we choose. And the reason for that is because sometimes words carry a stigma. That is like a sense of shame and judgment, and we don't even realize that. And it does influence the people that might need support. It might prevent some people from actually reaching out and getting the support that they need. And I'm talking specifically about people that are struggling with their mental health, that might be dealing with mental illness. I'm talking about people that have attempted suicide, and also those bereaved by suicide, those that have lost loved ones because of suicide. The language we use matter. You will see why when I explain. I'm going to try and keep it simple, and I want to focus on the words not to use, the words to rather use, and the reason behind that. Don't say commit suicide or committed suicide. Do say died by suicide or ended his or her or their own life. The reason for that is we want to avoid that association of suicide and crime. You can imagine that sense of judgment and shame on the person that want to end their own life, to feel like some kind of criminal, or the people that have lost people because of suicide to feel like this person committed some type of crime. There really is this association of crime and judgment when we use the word commit. Don't say unsuccessful suicide. Do say non-fatal suicide, or that the person made an attempt on his or her own life. The reason for that is we don't want to present the suicide attempt as this desired outcome, and we don't want to glamorize the suicide attempt. Don't say successful suicide. Do say took their own life, died by suicide, or ended their own life. The reason for that is, once again, we don't want the suicide to be associated with some kind of desired outcome. I want to add a note on that, seeing suicide as this desired outcome. It's really not the truth. When somebody decides to end their own life, it's not because this is this desired outcome that they have. It's actually quite the opposite. People that choose to end their own life are so hopeless and so desperate. They're in so much pain, they don't see another way out. It's actually quite the opposite. They are ending their own life because they are not able to get what they truly desire. That is things like connection, love, belonging, purpose. People that are hurting and don't see another way out, that's not their dream, that's not their desire, that's not their it's so important that we understand that. It's so important that we understand it's actually the opposite. They do desire something completely different, and it is so painful for them that they can't achieve that they just think all hope is lost, and they don't understand that people love them and would miss them. There are so many different reasons to consider: financial pressure, mental illness, the list goes on and on. But it's so important to understand, if you are someone that are having suicidal thoughts, that this is not your true desire. And also for people that have lost people because of suicide, to understand that it was not this dream, this desire, this selfish act. It was so much more complicated than that. Don't say mental patient, lunatic, psycho, schizo, words like that. Do say a person living with this specific issue, or a person that has been diagnosed with this specific mental illness. The reason for that is, again, that sensationalism and stigma connected to that word. We want to see the person as still a person dealing with a specific issue. It really becomes a problem when we label that person and see the thing they are dealing with as part of their identity. We want to separate the two so that person still understands they have worth and they can work on this issue or get help for this issue, and it's not who they are. Don't say someone is a victim of this issue or is suffering from this mental health issue or is affected by this mental health issue. Do say someone living with this issue or someone that simply has this issue. The reason for that is we don't want it to sound like this person is such a victim, there is no quality of life and there's no option for any improved quality of life. Again, it's about separating the person from the issue and not seeing them as a victim of the issue. We want them to know they can be empowered to manage and deal with this issue and find solutions or ways to improve the situation. Don't say the person is the issue they are working with or dealing with. For example, don't say a person is a schizophrenic or an anorexic. Do say this person has a diagnosis of schizophrenia, this person has a diagnosis of anorexia, or this person is being treated for schizophrenia or is being treated for anorexia. Those are just examples, but it's to show how we need to be careful not to label people with the mental issue or the mental illness they are dealing with. Don't say happy pills, shrink, mental institution, words like that. Do say antidepressants, psychiatrist, psychologist, counselor, mental health worker, and mental health hospital. The reason for that is when we use slang words, it's again like the situation or the condition or the issue is being stigmatized or exaggerated or even made to sound less serious. It's almost like the situation and the truth and the reality of the situation is being avoided. There's this discomfort and this funny feeling connected to it. It's so much better to keep it real, speak the truth, talk about it in realistic, natural ways, to see it as a real thing that requires real intervention. Those are just a few examples of the language we use, and I hope it makes sense why it really matters. Because it does matter, and the people that are struggling with mental health issues, they matter. The people that are having suicidal thoughts and have made attempts on their life, they matter. The people that are bereaved by suicide, they matter. And it's so important that we are careful with our words, intentional with our words, to help those people truly feel seen, truly feel supported, and to separate the mental health issue and the experience from the person, and to take away that stigma, that shame, and that judgment, and to see the situation for what it really is, and to really empower people to reach out for help, to reach out for support, and to not feel like they will be condemned, to not feel like they are the issue they are dealing with. It's so important for people to feel valued and to be seen separate from the issue they are dealing with. It's so important that we use our words carefully so we can all get to that understanding and empower people to truly reach out for support and feel supported. I do want to mention that I got this information about the role of language and stigma from everymind.org.au. If you are a person that are having suicidal thoughts, or you have made an attempt on your life, or you are thinking of ending your life, please know there is no shame and no judgment. This is real and it is hard for you, and I understand that you might feel completely hopeless and like there is no way out, but please know you are so much more than your conditions, so much more than your circumstances. Do reach out to a trusted friend or professional in your area. You have value and you have worth, and there are other ways to get support and look at alternatives that might be helpful for you. If you are somebody that's been bereaved by suicide, there is no stigma, no shame, and no judgment. Please reach out to trusted people and professionals in your area so you get the right support to work through your grief and loss. Thank you for listening and watching this video. I hope it's been helpful.